Hey everybody, WJ here. All right, so this is kind of interesting. Like I went out already, did my night walk. You know, uh, I like to go kind of like a circuit sometimes. I'll go around. It's don't need to really mention. It's like Melrose, down to Robertson, up and around, whatever. Just it's interesting, and I sometimes it's kind of hard to be open and honest. Because you're gonna start people start listening to you, and you're gonna offend people. But I guess Aristotle said, you don't want to be criticized and don't say nothing. So I kind of made that decision. I say, dude, I'm no, I'm sorry. I gotta just go for it. And, you know, uh, it's the people that are not going to like it. That's just, oh, well, that's too bad for them. So before I start talking about the topic thing, I want to relate something kind of interesting. Now, I live in this like building. It's like, it's like lower income, whatever. And the problem is that they got this fire alarm that goes off, all the time now. All of a sudden. Now the thing is I'm going to explain and try to relate as to why this is all what's going on. The county, what they do is they put in like cheap equipment. Whenever something breaks, they fix it, but it's like they put in something that's not going to last very long. And I hold the contention that because I remember when I first came in here, like there was not really a problem with the fire alarms going off, but it's like almost every day now this thing's going off for no reason. And I think I know kind of like what's going on here. Remember I talked about as relating 9/11. Things happen like and whoever tells you, like the people that you see on television or whatever, and who we know, they're they're the ones that report the information, and the people that we elect as elected officials and stuff, and they tell us what things are going to happen now. But as I said, there's people that or groups or whatever organizations that lie further behind, and then there's things that are behind them, and there's behind them. It's kind of like if you look at the O-rings or whatever of the Pentagon. It's like these layers, like whatever, if you accept the narrative that the plane crashed in the Pentagon, it didn't crash through the whole thing. Like it just made it through a couple of the layers because it's the fortification, the structure. It's built to withstand no matter anything, and it's kind of weird, right? Like, what's the point of that? Why? What's the point? It's protected. I don't know if they have like any type of anti-aircraft, things that protect the building from being attacked. But apparently, it wasn't working on 9/11. If there was, so it's maybe it took a day off or something. It's I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it's the reality of it. So how does this relate to like my fire alarm going off? Well, I was trying to make a point that they put in this garbage equipment all the time. And so if you go to the manager and you tell her, hey, this alarm's going off all the time, she's gonna go like this, like, I don't know, it's not my fault. I work for this person, I work for the county, it's them. And then there's this other woman that she's like, I don't even know what her position is, but she kind of decides, like who to rent to or who to give, a place to and everything like that. I don't know what her power is over that. And then there's people that work, that wherever the district offices are, they're in charge of this and that. So whoever comes out here, like is hired by something, I remember they put some type of, I don't know what the hell they were doing. Like they're using some type of like forget it's God damn it, it's not like painting, like repainting, but it's like a proxy, yeah. And that shit fucking smells, man. Like and they, even people know they're using low quality stuff. Of course they are, because that gives them a reason to ask for more money every year to get it. So it's not about helping you or maintaining the building. It's just doing the lowest quality thing. They really don't give a shit about you. So I even called the code enforcement to have them come out here and like assess it because I was smelling that proxy. Like nobody else does anything, but I try, and I know why nobody else like in my building does anything because they're scared. Like these older people, older Russian people or whatever, they went through, like, you know, if they went through, they knew people that went through the Holocaust and everything. You don't speak up against authority. You don't, because you get, and they know this is not Nazi Germany, but it's like implanted in their brain that if I speak up, then I can get evicted. I'm gonna be out on the streets. So don't do it. Don't do it. It's just hardwired, and it's too late, you know, for them. It's, you know, like my grandmother, she was like terrified of German shepherds. You know, you blame her. She was there. Okay, so what happened tonight? Okay, so doing my route. Now I told you by EPLPs. You know, I figured, all right, and that was a week ago. The incident was a week ago. And then kind of in the back of my mind, I was hoping that those same people showed up, because like with a week of training, you know, like a little more than a week of training, you know, my power is getting pretty solid, you know, like and kind of just watching and my hand flow. So like I was saying to myself, you know, I'll talk about God's intervention also, like what I'm thinking the ultimate test is going to be for me in my life. So they weren't there. I didn't even stop. You know, people coming out, I just, because I want to see this. I like to go around, and I'm starting to think about this because, you know, look, everything changes. You know, I'm tired of just standing around. Like I feel like maybe that, hopefully that phase is kind of coming to an end. Maybe I graduated past that phase already. It'd be nice. So if you're listening to this new, like if you're hearing this, what you need to do is go back to the beginning, my first, you know, live, and listen from the very beginning. Well, it's a lot of, it doesn't matter, because what you're going to see is the steps of progression. I'm not going to say it takes you that long, but it takes whatever it takes. It takes me, whatever. So what happened was I was walking by EPLPs and everything, and this couple comes out, and she was like damn near close to qualifier, and I started saying to myself, okay, am I going or not? Like real fast, and then it kind of hit me. The like enlightenment kind of hit me. And I started saying to myself, I said, okay, so you know, she's holding the woman's holding the guy's hand. Now they're a good distance already away from the club. You know, they're already, and it's kind of like walking to the car. So I'm saying, what good is it? And then I said no. And then I asked myself, why? Give myself an answer right now. Because if it was fear, then there's a problem. And it wasn't fear. So that was good. And I thought of it, and I knew exactly what it was. I said, holy shit. So I'm not scared. The guy, I'm not scared by the guy anymore. I said, if I would have went up, I wouldn't have gotten her. Like you know, they were going to the car already, like it's right there. But I said I wasn't afraid of the guy though. I wasn't afraid of an altercation either. And I really didn't need to say anything to her. Like I don't know, I felt like, you know, I hit some type of like little bit of, not a milestone, but maybe yeah, just a kind of like some type of thing that a little bit of like, you know, a marker or something I passed that kind of like just said, oh shit, like okay, all right. But I second guessed. I said, wait a second, were you sure? You sure you weren't just afraid of like an altercation thing? Because if that's the case, you better go back. I said, no, I'm not. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. I was saying to myself, it's like I don't think I would have gained anything off of it. Like there was nothing there to gain. Like you're not going to take her from him. Like so, I kind of like had some type of clarity. I had a little moment of clarity for a second. And I kept going, and I said, okay, you know, this is not bad. It's like it's not bothering me. It's kind of like I graduated from like a tiny little step or something. I don't know. Not to say I'll never talk to anybody with a guy or a woman or whatever, but I felt like that situation, like it was like kind of like just a waste, kind of like standing around too long. It was a waste. So I kept going. And then I was talking a little bit more to, you know, thinking I did a little recording, but I'm just not going to play it right now. It doesn't matter. Now I'll just recollect it in my mind and keep going. And then there's a couple of groups, like a group of people walking, and there was one guy, and he was young, you know, like he had like kind of like, you know, like well built too, like, and he was walking like kind of with that determined mentality. I know I've seen these guys, the quote unquote alpha, whatever. think he is or whatever. He had a good build too, great shape, like Frank Zanish, whatever. And I said, all right, well, this didn't matter. It's like a chiseled asteroid, whatever you want to call it that. So it was like irrelevant. I don't know. Yeah, and that's what. And then I said to myself, if I ever have to go up against somebody like that, it's not going to be a problem. I'm not going to be scared. It's like I thought about. We're living in synthetic age now. There's all these young people you don't understand. It's a smokescreen, is what it is, and it could be, for the most part. Um, Gear can make you look, it pumps it up. It's muscle enhancing. And if these kids are, doing any kind of little lifting, it's basically like they could be fooling you. But I can almost damn near guarantee you, surely, in the gym, I go, if I watch what that guy's doing, he's not working his ass off. It's not that, it's not intensity. It's pharmacology is what it is. And see, the thing about that is that, if you're not the warrior, like you're not intensity, then it's kind of like, it's just, it looks, it's tonight, it's amazing. If we didn't have that, it would be nothing. It's like a cream puff, like he's just, and then if he's walking like that, then he's doing nothing more than acting. Now, I don't care. It's irrelevant to me. I don't have to show that guy anything. But the reason I mention this, because I think about this and I say to myself that what I'm calling God's intervention, if it ever happens, or the test. Should have called this one the test, but the ultimate test, maybe. What do you think that is? Well, if you know me by now and you've been listening to some of these, you know what that is, probably. There's actually a couple different things. And I'll tell you what that is in a second. But I'm going to relate that also to something else. And then what happened later. So a lot, just a lot to keep going on here. When I go to the gym, I told you that chick is there. And she's right there. She does her exercises like every morning, and it's like where I do mine. Those punching bags are not moving; they're staying there, and she's like 10 feet away. And she wears like different outfits, and they fit well. She's like puts work into her look. Whatever. I don't know why. Whatever. Take pride in that, I guess. And I think about this, like making small improvements in yourself every day. I read this like in the game and, whatever, Neil Strauss and different things like that. You don't have to, some of these gays, they put so much effort into their looks and stuff like that's, that's a little too much. That's ridiculous. That's the problem. A little too much effort into two wrong things here. I'm not there in the gym to smell good. I'm sorry. Okay? I go there to work. And I bought a couple like workout shirts, they're on their way and stuff because I think about this, I only have, I'm wearing kind of like same stuff all the time to the gym. I'm working my ass off. It's getting all sweaty and everything like that. And it's like, oh, it dries off, it's like my gloves, they're falling apart already. So I bought new ones. I said, invest a little bit here. Just a little bit. You don't have to go all hog wild psycho. Just invest a little bit into some new stuff, whatever. For yourself, if you have to. That's my problem. It's like, so I like to, I don't want to buy anything till it's all worn out and it's all nothing. Women notice that. I know you're doing it for you, but like, I think about that and I say to myself, well, they're going to notice everything and I'm going to notice it myself. It's like, you got to put up you got to put on a little bit of something. Show it so that, maybe they'll start seeing, wow, this guy's really starting to try to invest in himself. A haircut, little things, just little things. You don't have to fucking all or nothing kind of mentality. It's a problem. Working on just little deficiencies. I would say there's like a million things, and what you do is you just chip away. That's an easy one. Let me knock that one out. I can take care of that in a second. Haircut, okay, that's done. A couple shirts and some gloves. All right, let's buy that. Let's fucking get that. And what happens is compound effect. It all starts to add up. What's the ultimate test? You know about, I told you, I started getting into fighting and defending myself, changing everything, becoming like the warrior junior, hopefully into the smart warrior now, moving into that. Because what's going to happen is if you persist with the warrior mentality, you're going to get another one of these. And it might be even harder than the last one that I got with 4 guys. It might be one, but he might get really close. Maybe he would have thrown, maybe he wouldn't. But his face is too close to the fucking grinder. And I'm not going to tell him to move back. If you hesitate for a second, you have not passed the test. That's God's test for me. Something has to be immobilized on that person. If you take a step back, you have not passed the test. You failed it. If you haven't done everything in your power to mobilize that person, you failed the test. I failed. If the hand even comes up at you to try to grab or push you, with all the training and everything that you've done, if you've prepared, that hand should be broken or sprained. It should be grabbed, turned as hard as against. I have to learn exactly to where it comes around, where his body has to force to turn, or his arm will become dislocated. So every human being knows this, that when you go like this, because I had a Russian guy do this to me one time that worked at a pizza place. I didn't ask, he just said he put it, and I remember he turned, and I felt like, oh my God, he's gonna break. This is all gonna break if I don't turn my body. Natural turn like this, and he's holding it like this, and a little bit more pressure, the whole thing is gonna break. It's gonna snap. But I'm not finished yet. That's not enough to finish the story. You don't understand. You think that's it? It's turn, possibly. I'm thinking, it doesn't matter, whatever I feel like doing. But this is what I'm thinking. Because I'll get to, because you'll see eventually where the guy's position is going to be. And that's the goal. I'm going to get this guy in that position. Whether it be through hand, whether it be knee, through elbow, or whatever. Behind, knee to the meniscus. So he's on his knees now. Head put into the concrete, not slammed, but pressed against the concrete with your knee on his neck. Okay? With enough pressure applied that the guy can absolutely do nothing. And then it's your choice. And you know what the right thing to do is. To let him go at that point. Okay? That's passing the test. If that guy doesn't wind up going to the ER for like a sprained wrist, broken wrist, arm, or whatever, for the rest of his remaining life, he will remember that he picked on a small little guy, he got in his face, tried to command him and push him around, and his head was pressed against the concrete. And there's nothing he could have done. the side of his head anyway. It's like compressed, you know, like a vice. And the arm is like around, and your knee is on his neck, like against it, like into the ground to where you could crush it if you want to. But you're not going to, because that's not the right thing to do. You're going to defend yourself to the maximum, not negotiate when someone that can't be negotiated with. It's inevitable. It's going to happen one day. If unless I get lucky, and I get some success, and then I kind of like just keep watering it down, and hopefully. But there's some guy like or some people, they're just going to pick on me just for me being assertive, saying I'll look at whatever I want. You're going to go out of your way and send your whole posse to scare the living life out of me. Then there's going to be, like, if there's 5 people, there's going to be 5 beds in the IC that they're going to be in, one by one, easily. There's 2 bags. You understand? I'm practicing. You think I'm just going to take down one? I'm going to teach one. If they keep coming, which they're not, I'm going to break everything if I have to. I'm not going to think twice. I don't have to think. I don't have to hesitate. Remember what Triple H said? I will not hesitate for one damn second. I know it's not real, but it's in my mind. It is. It is. You're going to come and you're going to scare me? You're going to threaten me? I never threatened anybody in my whole life. Who taught you like this? To do that to people? But you put your head near that wood chipper. And if you stick your head in there, it's coming off. Whatever. Grinder. You call it whatever you want. 5 o'clock, I'll be sharpening the blade again. It's like I did yesterday. Or 11 at night. That's all I'm fucking doing. You know what I mean by that. The proverbial blade of defending yourself. So I was walking, and there was this girl sitting at a bus stop. She's pretty. It was kind of cute. On this kind of like igloo-sized thing. So it's big. And then I said, this kind of something jumped out at me. This is kind of odd. Something was odd there. She didn't look homeless or nothing. I was like, what's going, She had her headphones on. I was a decent distance away. I just didn't want to like make her feel uncomfortable. It was very loud on the boulevard. It's like what I call it like the Amazon, the man-eating plants, the giant Venus flytraps or whatever, like, and I'm just like obstacles, asteroids, whatever you want to call it, whatever you relate more to. I relate it to everything. I call whatever it is. It's just obstacles in the way, noise, people. So I asked her, and I said, "You okay? Like, what's going on?" I know at first I said, "You gonna carry that thing, like that big thing on the bus?" I kind of made a joke about it. And the second she opened up her mouth, it's interesting because, I can gauge somebody's behavior quickly by what they say. Okay. And she just like was very angry, not at me personally, but she said, "Look, you don't know." It's like she started talking about like she got hit by a car or something like this and that. Like and what I said, it's going to be okay. No, it's not. It's going to be okay. No, it's not. Like, just in her mind. This angry kind of thing. And I tried to sit there and listen. You know, I said, okay, Mike, don't walk off. If you walk off, give her, like, come on. Let her. This is the difference between a guy just going out there trying to get laid and somebody who really cares. Sure, I want to get my needs met as a man. But you know what? Like, part of me, somebody needs some help. When within reason or something, I'm willing to try. Like, if I have the information, I'll help you. Unlike most out there, because I am unlike most out there. And I could just tell, like, it was just not, like, there's just no way. She didn't see what I saw. There's no way. You're not going to get through to this person. Like, you know, his mind was made up. It's not going to be okay. I thought about this show when I was a kid. It was called Highway to Heaven. You know, forget who was in it. You know, was it Vic? Not Vic Tayback, but Michael Landon. He was the angel. Gets picked up. Remember the guy, and it's like, you know, and he goes on, and he's an angel. He shows up, and he helps people. Doesn't ask for anything. It's like that's a guardian angel, whatever. And he goes on to help somebody else. And I thought maybe the woman would have, like, I felt like I was that in a way. I was the angel to help. But she didn't get it. I gave it a couple minutes. I thought it was, you know, it was a lost cause. And I left. It's not one dimensional when I go out or anything. It's a warrior mentality. Warrior, you know, just don't talk to nothing. It's all obstacles. I understand that. You have to first. You have to get to that level before you can graduate to the next step. That's where I did. I kind of took one step up here because I sincerely cared without asking for anything in return. I felt because, like, I felt if I gave, if I helped or something, not from her, but like in general, whatever, like it's the universe going to understand that. They're going to say, wow, the universe is going to hear it. So, wow, this guy, like, he's trying to give. It's like when I danced with those 60-year-old women when I went to that thing with that woman and the thing. I didn't dance with those older women, so I hope the other ones would see that he's a good guy. I just felt like it was the right thing to do, you know. Now I talk about this when I recorded about reward. You know, the whole thing is like, where's the reward? And that's, I know. Well, if you're doing all this, you're not getting anything off of it. Then what's the point? You know, I equate that to like a gold mine. You know, you can have, like, you know, really good keep getting better and better equipment out there. But if you're digging in a mine that there's absolutely no gold, it cannot be found, impossible. You're in the wrong mine and wrong place. They make like these guns, right? It looks like a gun, but what it does, you take it and you press against a stone, and it tells you the composition of it. It's like, well, then you know, like, if there's gold in the mine or something. It's like a technology thing. Very expensive. And then years ago, what they had is like the thing though that you walk around with, the round thing on the bottom, and you know, it tells you there's something metal there or something like that, like a metal detector thing. You know, the guys walk around walking on the beach hoping to find something buried. They're digging in the wrong place for the most part. Keep getting better and better equipment, but you're in the wrong place. I told you, those guys try to get me out of there because that really popular gay bar, nightclub, whatever. You're in the wrong place, man. And I go, no, I'm not, man. I didn't tell him that. Now, when there's like this many straight women in there, to me, guess what? There is a gold in them there hills. There's also a lot of stuff with it, a lot of stuff that's irrelevant to me. There might be a gem in there too. Who knows? But you can take advice from all those other people that are wasting their time telling you because they're angry. They're not getting nothing. They're not finding any gold. They don't want you to find anything either. A lot of people are jealous. They don't want you to win. They don't want to see you succeed, whatever. They don't want to see you get better. I know that's like the dumbest thing of all. Like it's not like in the movies where people cheer on the guy going all the time. In the movies, it looks good. It's cute and everything like that. But I already told you that's about keeping your attention and holding entertainment value. Entertainment value, which is not reality. The most common thing everybody says, life is hard. I've heard that this guy. And people say life is hard. Life is hard. Why don't you think about this and say, why not life is challenging? Something different, And I'm going to take on a challenge, whatever it is. The people are going to try to challenge you. I talked about this. If you go back and listen to some of my older stuff, what would somebody that mathematics, some guy that barely knows, he knows a little bit of multiplication, 5 times 5 is 25, and having a discussion with like Einstein or something like that. And Einstein would just look at this guy and go, "Damn, you're right on that one." Who's the fool there? This guy, this nothing that thinks that he knows complicated mathematics. 5 times 5 is 25, and you have the first off, you have the honor of even talking to this person. That's in my mind. I think about that, like what I've gone through in my life, what I've accomplished, what I haven't accomplished, but what I tried. I stuck my neck out there. The people laughing, booing, embarrassing things. I never really became famous or wealthy. And these people come up to you and they do summary judgment on you. Only thing they can come up real fast or something. You're bald. You're real fast. And try to get a rise out of you or something. Like a baby crying. What does a baby do when it wants attention? It cries. What does an adult baby do? Similar. It cries in a different way. It cries through language. It cries through wanting attention. And you're giving them that. You're giving the baby attention when you respond. Think about that. I made sure that Jim that I put my stuff on, the pylon, whatever, it's like I think that's what it's called. They stackable, use them for different things. Couldn't wait a second for me to take my stuff off, try to move it for me, Toward the end, I made sure after, he wasn't that far away. I said it to myself. I said, do not lower yourself to this infantile, do not try to reason with this childish, infantile behavior. It's beneath you. I said it to myself, not even face toward the guy, as I was getting back to him. And he heard it too. No, you're dealing with here. You're dealing with an expert. I don't even have to tell him. You know, they're going to put their foot in their own mouth. You don't give these people any credit. They're too much credit. Any credit. They don't deserve it. That's the problem. You know, people engage you, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I can do it. You know, it's stupid. You're lowering yourself to their level. They know that you're up here. They're trying to get him, pull him down. Get him down here. If we can. And it's not that hard. If you're not trained, it's very easy to pull you down. Very easy. Not physically, mentally. Because you haven't trained. You haven't sharpened the mind. Somebody told me once, you know, like, I don't know, it was like J-Lo or something was at the Ivy. She was having some eat. She was with a friend. And she would not say a word to, I don't know whoever, anybody. Like, I'm not saying it's right and everything, but I understand why. Powerful people command respect. I know it's like something out of like the, you know, the kingdom times. I don't know, you know, the don't speak unless you're spoken to kind of thing. But in a way, that's what it is. That's the way it works. I'm sorry. No, we have freedom. I know anybody can say anything and go do anything. But let me tell you something. Power is power. And it's like, it's respected. It's like, you know, for you, it's like, or anybody, something like that. You know, they feel like you have to earn the right to earn their time of somebody, of whoever that has status. So in my mind, I kind of think of it that way too. If you are not at my level, you know, then, and you're, you know, picking on, you're below, like you're throwing like curveballs at me, calling me names and all these things, I'm going to make sure you stay there. I'm going to beat you with the force. And you're going to, because what you're going to do is you're going to step on yourself. You're going to put your foot in your own mouth by what you say. It just shows how infantile you are. I don't even have to respond. I could, if I want to, I could say something and really just like put your, you know, grind your, you know, it's like you have no chance. Because you could throw out a really good intellectual question as to why somebody's doing that. And they're going to have to stop and think because they don't know how to respond to that. It's like, well, what is this? I can't believe that guy just said that. I was not expecting that. What do you mean? That's what it's like talking to some of these people. You could. The baby. That's what some of these people are. That's what they're saying. When they're you know, what the hell? I can't understand what that is. What is that? What are they saying? See how ridiculous that sounds? It's so stupid. And you're gonna lower yourself to that baby, whatever that is, that language, that baby talk. You know, That's what most people do. He kept asking me. He kept asking me. You know, my friend's like 6'7" or whatever, and whoever was like, "Can I help you?" He was like, "Down here, look. Can I help you? 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 Can I help you?" And let it get to him. This little thing, it doesn't matter. He's just gonna keep trying. Broke his frame. And then he got mad over it and everything. I explained this to him. He broke your frame. Because he doesn't know. He hasn't learned. He hasn't studied like I have about this. He doesn't know how to deflect these idiots that get him away like this. So they did nothing. They want that reaction. They want that reaction. Friend Pete said something interesting. Answer a question with a question. Cute. You waiting here when you waiting? You waiting here? Remember, a lot of these curveballs come out, like when you least expect it. I say, like, look, the Brandon Carter is really interesting. The death stare. I mean, that is like, I would think that is one of the most powerful things. He said this. Unfortunately, with me, it has to go down to the takedown. Like I can't do that because if somebody gets that close, you don't know what they're gonna do. But he says, an altercation quickly arises, and somebody gets real close. What you do is you give them the death stare. I can't even do it straight face, but like. And you hold it right there. And I guarantee you, the guy has no information on you. And you didn't say anything first. Somebody came up and just tried to get in your face and start. And they have no information to go on. And you just went like this. They're going to keep talking. They're going to keep communicating with you to try to get in there, figure out, I got to size this guy up, not just physically, but I got to know who I'm dealing with here. And you're just standing there like this. You know what's going to happen? That guy's going to start thinking in his mind. He goes, what is this guy here? What's going on? They have no information to go on. Now, as a police officer or something like that, okay, whatever, they're sworn duty, I'm talking about like somebody that's like trying to like mentally fuck with you. Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? Or whatever. Qasim say, man. Qasim say, man. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I'll kick your ass. You kick your ass. You're not giving him any information. Nothing. Do you know how powerful that is? I didn't say a word. I just went like this. Mad and everything. No movement of the head, nothing. Just a death stare. Boom! You want my attention, you got it. Don't even say that. Give them no information, nothing. Like it's classified in your mind. They're trying to get like secret information. You're like, in your mind, you're, whatever you are. They need that information so they summary judgment. I got to figure out like, who I'm dealing with here. You don't even have to tell them you're dealing with an expert. It doesn't matter. Rambo didn't say nothing. He just did the action. I'm not saying go out there with the gun. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying take those actions. But I'm saying the mentality of seriousness. That's what the takeaway is. People think like, oh yeah, be like Rambo, be tough like that. You're not getting it. You're not getting how I define tough. Tough is being able to protect yourself physically and mentally. That's tough. That's mentally strong. That's physically strong. Not allowing people to break your frame. Not allowing people to get under your skin. Not being a pussy. Standing up for what you believe in because you know in your heart it's right. Not letting people walk over you. Helping somebody that's in desperate need. Kind of like being a superhero in a way, but a normal person. But in reality. Not asking for anything in return. That's a real warrior. This woman one time, she's like, I don't know, she's like almost 60 or something like that. She was almost like shaking, and she walked by, she goes, sir, can you please help me? What? He goes, I need to get to that restaurant right there because they have my orange juice. I need to get my orange juice in. She almost couldn't make it there. But I made sure she got there. She had like held on to me. Across like 2 streets. And I asked her something because when you talk to somebody as they're walking, then it makes it easier. Like they don't have to worry about, will I make it there and anything. I got her mind off of it. I asked her as we're walking, I said, hey, you should think about buying orange juice at home. Yeah, I ran out. She goes. Before you know it, she was there. And she thanked me. I didn't care if any beautiful woman saw it or anything. I didn't care. I didn't ask her, anybody that can help me out with my problem? In an ideal world, that would be ideal. I say, what? I got a daughter. She goes, I got a beautiful daughter. Maybe meet a guy like you. You seem like really what you did. Didn't happen though. Maybe she doesn't have. I didn't expect anything. I didn't want anything. I just felt like it was the right thing to do. I know. I used to get like really, really agitated by that. Because these old women, like they ask you to do all these things for them. And then like when I see something young and beautiful, like I ask them to do something for me. And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, why? Why doesn't it work that way? Okay? It's like, you're helping somebody else, but you can't get what you want. So that's why I changed my way of thinking. I said, okay, I do these things, and you know what? It's not a big deal. Just keep going. If the universe sees it, great. Whatever. Sometimes it feels like, you're being taken advantage of. But you know what? Then that's fine. Oh, good. Great. In that way, I am. And it's hard. That's hard to give like that. And not, and then when you go out and then you see like, beautiful woman out there and it's like by herself and you're like, go up there, hey, I'd love to. And then they go like this to you. They go, no. But meanwhile, 60-year-old woman is like, help me, help me. How does that not fuck with your mind? I just accept it then. I say, okay, you know what? That's fine. It's the way it is, frustrating, but that's how it goes. I felt like I'm going to conclude with this one for now. I felt like I had a little bit of enlightenment today too. Actually, it was in the morning. And this was really, really important. A lot of these guys I talked about that Franklin guys that are built and everything. They're walking like alpha male, whatever. You don't know how that guy can fight or not. You don't know like what he's capable of. You don't know. Somebody gets in your face. You don't know, and you don't know if he can fight or not, huh? I do know now. I had like an epiphany after my workout. There's like a giveaway. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Not now. And it's not for sure. But I think I have a good idea. There's a giveaway. There's something there. There's a tell. Like in poker. You tell if somebody's bluffing or not. And I saw it and I said, "Oh shit, really?" If that happens, like when someone gets mad and they're ready to throw down, or they think they're talking that, and I look for this, then I could tell if he knows how to fight or not, or if he's trained, or anything. There's a tell. I'm not going to tell you what it is for fighting, but I will relate an example, and that's fair. I forget the movie. Was it Any Given Sunday or something? No, it's Invincible. It was Invincible with Mark Wahlberg. Very good movie. If you've never seen it before, oh, watch it. Story of Vince Papale. The guy's a 30-year-old bartender, became like an unlikely, professional football player in the NFL for the Philadelphia Eagles, based on true story. I think it was a lineman or something. They do a drill. There's a scene, makes it like he's still going through the cuts and everything to try to make the final squad. It's like brutal, It's I think NFL's 40-man roster or something. And in the beginning, there's like all these people, open tryouts. They don't do that anymore, but they did a long time ago. And like the coach, I think it was like Greg Kinnear, played. It's really good. Disney movie, but one of the best football movies in my opinion. And these guys are just getting eliminated left and right. It's like so these kind of big guys, all trying to like do you know how strong, like how fast a professional football player is? A 300-pound man that can run 300 pounds plus. And this guy is coming right at you and doing everything in his power in his life with his hands to push you out of the way, get you the fuck out of there so he can get that quarterback. And let me tell you something. Doesn't want to gently touch him when he gets to him. Now, there are rules in the game. But I remember there was a player on the Steelers, and he said something. I forgot who it was, but he said it doesn't matter. But the point is what he said. He said, "What I want to do is, I want to get through that line, and if I can get to that quarterback, I want to like grab. I want to fucking tackle as hard as I can this soft area right here. I totally fucking want to like." So you want to kill you within the game's rules. He wants to break him in half if he can with his arms. It's a legal tackle as absolutely hard as he can. And that's what happened in Invincible. It started the field started going down lower and lower. So that means the players, the people that are still around, they're qualifiers. They're, you know, it doesn't mean they're making, but it's like, you know, they're starting to get lower and lower. And Mark Wahlberg, Vince Papale, he's hanging in there with them. What happens is they do this drill, like where these guys are, they're in a circle. They call like a number. Forget what Papale's numbers, it doesn't matter. And again, like I told you, these guys are big fucking guys. And sometimes, you know, what they do is they just boom, you know, like see who can knock each other down. And is the weight difference, you know, like what you have to do is, you know, that you got to get creative when you're smaller. It's like in judo. I heard this. It's called the way. Like you have to use their weight against them. If somebody of that size is coming right at you and they hit you, they're going to kill you. Okay? You can't take them head on. They have too much power behind their weight. There's no way. Okay? So what you do is they're coming at you. You know? You're going to go to one of the sides around this coming at you. And you're going to try to immobilize it. You're going to, or fake it out completely. Because somebody that size can't. They can't move that fast. That's why you have to have incredible speed and agility in that case. Vince Papale didn't know that. They called him out the first time. So getting in like the, you know, and they just go, and this big fucking guy just crushes over him. Again. And he gets crushed over again. He's making 185 pounds, but the guy like he's up against is like whatever, 285. Trying to make the team also. There's only so many spots. You know, like for so many players. You know, he doesn't care. Like it's a dude. It's just another fucking dude. Like I'm gonna show the scouts that, like, you know, whatever. I'm best defensive lineman. I can crush anybody. I don't care who that guy is or anything. I'm gonna bulldoze over everything because I want to get on this team. What happens is they have, like, you know, I forget, like a break or something to make it to like the second day. And Vince Papale, he's like putting tape over his abs, like broken ribs or something. I don't know. That lineman told him. They called him over. You, Papale. Don't you know? What are you doing? What do you mean? You don't know. Look at my knuckles. And then you see, like, the thing is on his knuckles, right? Like he's pressing it on the ground, like pressing it on a flat surface. He goes, look, when they turn white, that means I'm coming in this way. When it doesn't, when they're up like this, that means I'm going to come at you straight on or something like that. What's that tell? He gave him the information for the others, because other players and stuff, like he was looking for that. He wasn't his competition. Like, it was a different position. Because that defensive guy saw the heart of that guy. If he crushed him so many times and he still stayed. That's the message of that movie. It's not about football. It was about heart and determination. Like, he wanted to make it. And he did. It's a true story. You know, poker, whatever, I don't know. They make movies about that bluff and everything like that. Whatever, that's that. But are you telling me if I could actually look at somebody when they're like getting ready to come at me and they're getting real angry, I can look at one thing physically and I can pretty much, I don't know. I think I got it though. I can tell you if they've been in fights before, if they know how to fight, if they've trained. How powerful is that? And I think I'm right on this one. I'm not going to tell you. It doesn't matter. If you've trained enough, you should be able to figure it out. Well, well, can you tell me just in case so I know? If you don't know how to fight, it won't help you anyway. Because you can't call their bluff anyway. If you know how to defend yourself and somebody comes at you like this and talking shit, and I said, I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that thing to tell if he knows how to fight, and I don't see it. And all of a sudden, he's in deep shit. Because you can call your hand. You can call the hand. Interesting. And the only reason I think I was able to figure this out is because I started really training myself. It's interesting. Something to think about. Anyway, it's been an hour. I hope anybody caught some interesting advice. I'm going to get to the gym at 5 o'clock. I go whenever I feel like it. I look at it like that. I like to continually keep moving, keep the body moving. The only reason why I'm sitting here and doing this, but because I'm kind of exercising my mind. But I bring this intensity in everything. I bring it to my approaches. I bring it to the gym. I bring it to life. Challenge yourself. Think about it. Ask yourself personally, like, what bothers you about you that you could possibly challenge hard? Is it physical? Is it mental? Is it social? Is something that bothers you that you say, and then think about that when you say I can't. Don't say I can't. I can't. It should not exist in your mind. I can't. No. I can't. I will try as hard as I fucking can. And then some. It's like they say some people, like, they fucking runner, that guy. David Goggins. It's like the toughest guy on the planet. Like, he's like insane with that guy. It's like, I think, a world record for pull-ups within 24 hours and running 100 miles, nonstop or something, some absolute ridiculous things. But that guy's mentality is like, warrior times 10. Like, whatever I talk, it's like beyond crazy. It's his thing is like, really, yeah, pushing yourself to the absolute limits and beyond physically. Um, Very tough Marine type mentality approach thing. Doesn't really get into like what I would consider more of the smart warrior kind of thing. Not to say he's not, but you know, I listen to everybody, and I think that's important, is to learn from everybody, or hear everybody out like that and see if there's something you can walk away with and saying, huh, yeah, that's not bad. Wow. That's why these people who they are. That's why he's Guinness World Record holder or something like that. It's pull-ups. You know how many people can do pull-ups on the whole planet? People are in shape. They can do lots of pull-ups, lots of pull-ups. This guy can do more than anybody else in 24 hours. Anybody on the planet. I think the record was broken or something. I don't know. But, you got to be something different about you. There's got to be something different about you to be able to do something like that. Like a serious focus, like a serious mindset, with anything. I know. I'll conclude with this one because I know I was going to go off, but let me just finish up. That movie, Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith. Remember the scene? If you never seen it, watch it. Thing where, in the car, in a taxi ride. I don't know, the guy that was Dean Witter, whatever. He has a Rubik's Cube in his hand. Nobody can solve this. And he said, he knows he could. He could. He said, I can. They don't explain like the whole thing. How many possible combinations there are to the Rubik's Cube? It's like 60 quintillion. With a Q or something like that, okay? If you do not know the algorithm, there's not one algorithm, there's a couple. I think it's a 9-step process which can solve any standard Rubik's Cube. Doesn't matter what configuration or whatever they're mixed up. It all goes back perfectly if you know the 9-step algorithm. If you don't know it, and you try to solve that thing without any help, it's nearly impossible. Nearly impossible. I spent a month trying to solve it on my own without knowing the algorithm. And after a month, I looked it up. And it took me a little while, but I was able to solve it. Well, that's how it's done. That's how you become a smart warrior. Step by step. Learning the algorithm. Because if you don't, you're going to try, you can sit there, I'm close, so you're not even close at all. Got one side here, maybe two, you're not even close at all. There's not one way that the cube can be solved. Remember that. There's a couple different steps. I think there's multiple different steps. But in the end, it all solves that way. Do that step-by-step process. People, they're not willing to learn those steps. They're not going to. They're going to sit there and fucking do this thing in life. And they go out there, they're going to cry like a baby. They're going to talk shit. They're going to get in your face. Whatever it is. Something that will just go nowhere. And then there's those cubers. Like people that are inventors. People that do things that are extraordinary. They know the steps. Try to figure it out. Like, how to do this thing. You don't see the work that they did to learn the steps. Because that's, done in private. It's all learned in private. It's the work that most people are not willing to do. Most people, the majority, most people know they're not going to do it. It's just too challenging. It's too hard. It's kind of interesting if you think about it. Some people might get a better boost at it. They have good family. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to show you the steps. And the baby's like, the son or his daughter goes, okay, daddy, teach me the steps. They had a good boost, like to go. So they didn't, that didn't apply to them. Maybe they tried that at the beginning and then the parents said, hey, no, this is not how you do this. But if you're an adult and you have not figured that out by now, you're just going to keep going like that. You'll never solve it. You'll never even get close. It's impossible. It's 60 quintillion combinations. Look up quintillion, see how much that is. I think it's like 1,000 billion. I don't know exactly. Trillion. I think it's beyond trillion, quintillion. Million, billion, trillion. And it's like quintillion, I think, was after that. It's a number that's almost never used. It's so big. Warrior Jr. out. Hope you enjoyed it.